he has ever seen Dallas play. That's a pretty fine tribute. Tony Franklin will kick off for the Eagles, and Rod Hill, number 25, back deep for the Cowboys along with Ron Fellows. But Hill is the man they like to have handle the ball, although Fellows can be very dangerous as well. Franklin, the barefooted boot. It will be Rod Hill at the 1. Rod Hill to about the 25, perhaps just a little bit shy of that. And that's where Dallas will operate from with this offensive set. Danny White, the quarterback. Tony Dorsett and Ron Springs, the runners. Tony Hill and Drew Pearson wide. Up front, Donovan, Herbert Scott, Rafferty, Kurt Peterson, Cooper, and Cosby. Commentary shuffles his guards back and forth to get the plays in the game. Danny White, 15 out of 33, 304 yards, and a record-tying 5 touchdowns last week. Dorsett down quickly by Carl Hairston. A loss of about 5, and where'd he come from? Let's look at the defense first. Up front, the Eagles play that 3-man front as well as anybody. Harrison, Clark, and Hairston, who just made that play. The linebackers in a good group they are. Wilkes, Robinson, Griggs, and Joel Williams. Secondary, Young, Edwards, Logan, and Hopkins. Those are the folks they'd like to have in the game.
Well, Marion Campbell was saying that he has to buy some aggressiveness, and he meant by that get penetration on first down, and he got it that play from Carl Hairston.
2nd and 17. Dorsett. Counter play left, and he's cut down by Clark. And the Eagles had started out with a lot of aggression.
Well, that's the thing. The way to stop Tony Dorsett is to get in the backfield. Get in that Cowboy backfield and don't let him get started.
If he ever gets a chance to get started and he can pick his way and he sees so well, that's when he is so dangerous.
Right, and that defense can't sit and read. They have to penetrate, get across the line of scrimmage. Get on the Cowboy side of the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 19. He did say, Marion Campbell did, that he was going to do some different things on defense, and now he goes with a 4-man front. And a lot of defensive backs. 7 to be exact. Danny White. Drew Pearson stays on his feet, loses the football. It goes out of bounds, and Dallas will maintain possession. But it's short of a first down, and Danny White will have to punt.
See the guy that made that tackle from behind? It was Jerry Robinson. He's the leader of this Eagle defense. In fact, he's the leading tackler on the defense. That guy's all over the field. You know, he started out as an outside linebacker, moved inside. He just seems to be in on every tackle.
A very, very good athlete. John Shira is back deep, just been activated, standing at the Eagle 30, and Danny White back to punt. Good kick by White. That'll stay up there a while. Shira with some room. And John Shira gets out to about the 37 before the Cowboys special teams get down there. Rod Hill was the man down to make the stop on John Shira. The Philadelphia Eagle offensive backs and receivers. Jaworski, the quarterback. Michael Williams, Oliver, Carmichael, and Quick, the wide receivers. Up front, Walters, Kenny, Morris, Baker, Sizemore, and the tight end is Vito Cav. We'll get the Dallas defense for you in just a second. Ron Jaworski, completing just over 56% of his passes this year. Dallas in their regular 4-man front. Oliver and Williams and Haddix. Oliver straight ahead. Got a couple. Michael Downs came up to make the stop, the initial hit. The defense for the Dallas Cowboys. Up front, Jones, Dutton, White, and Harvey Martin. The linebackers, Hegman, Brunig, and Anthony Dickerson. And the secondary, Walls, Thurman, Clinkscale, and Michael Downs, who just made that tackle. 2nd and 5. Michael Haddix is the flanker to the right-hand side, lined up behind the tight end, Vito Cav. Williams 2 maybe. John Dutton led the defensive surge along with Randy White.
That's an interesting formation, Pat. What the Eagles are starting here with is 3 running backs and only 1 wide receiver. Now, the guy on the line of scrimmage is their #1 draft choice, Michael Haddock. You know, on the first play, he came in motion and he trapped Randy White. How'd you like to be a #1 draft choice running back, come into the league? You're trapping Randy White. Man.
3 running backs means the 1 wide receiver is Mike Quick. And there is Quick. He shakes 1 tackle, slips down. This is artificial turf. And parts of it are damp and will be slippery. That's the first down, Philadelphia.
I'll tell you, Mike Quick almost did the Cardinals in there. He had the first down, and he started back, and he darn near lost it, but he got turned up and got the first down anyway. You never do that. Whew.
Eagle first down at their own 45. No score as yet. 11:15 left to play in the first quarter. Quick this time is wide right, and Haddock is that flanker just outside the tight end to the left. Michael Williams. Knocked out of bounds by Dennis Thurman. But Williams pours into Dallas territory.
He gets a good block here from 73, Steve Kenny, his right guard. See the right guard pull here, 73? Williams starts inside. Now watch, he gets out there. He hooks Dickerson, hooks him, gets him cut, and then boom, right there. Williams is through the hole, and he's up to the outside. He darn near lost the ball right there. It just popped right out of his arm, but he got it and got out of bounds.
32-yard gain by number 32. Michael Williams. To Williams again. To the 20 of Dallas. John Dutton on defense.
You know, it's an interesting start here for the Eagles. Marion Campbell is saying 2 things we have to do is we have to keep our offense in the field. The way to do it, we have to have a running game. They're starting very well with Michael Williams here. Then he said the other thing we have to do is have some third down conversions. The first third down conversion they had, they completed to Mike Quick.
Just outside the Dallas 20 at 2nd and 7, Harold Carmichael now is in the game and lined up on the right side as a tight end. Quick is split wide left. Dallas showing blitz. Here they come. All Jaworski could do was unload it because they did not have everybody picked up.
Well, one thing, you know, as Tom Landry said, he says the way to stop the Eagle offense without Wilbur Montgomery is to put pressure on Ron Jaworski. And he's starting now, and there was a big blitz there. Jaworski didn't have anyone to throw to. I think he just threw that one away.
Well, they've had trouble on third down. You were talking about that just a minute ago, John, what Marion Campbell had said to us. And you saw that very low percentage of conversions. It's third down right now and 7. Young and Carmichael are both in the game now. This is Glenn Young, Harold Carmichael, and Quick. They start Quick in motion. Jaworski down the middle to Quick. And into the end zone to Quick. That's a pretty good-looking drive by the Eagles.
That was a good combination. They picked up their third down conversions. They had a big run. They had the things that they have to do all day if they're going to be in this game against the Cowboys.
And now Tony Franklin will try to add the extra point from the hold by Jaworski. Dallas jumps offside. Bob Brunig while they readjust. Here's the touchdown.
It comes here. We see the motion here. Now it's going to come from the right-hand side of the screen. Quick will come here, and then he'll come inside. You see right there, Everson Walls, I think, was man-to-man on him. He got by him. No tackle. Big touchdown.
On the kickoff.
And the Eagles break on top. No penalty. They'll do it on the kickoff. Which means Franklin will kick off from the 40. He still tries to add the extra point. Up in the air quickly, and the Eagles 7-0. Perry drive, 7 plays, 67 yards. They kept it 3 minutes, 2 seconds. Jaworski with a 20-yard pass to Mike Quick. Now Tony Franklin will kick off, and it'll be Rod Hill from the 2 this time. Hill jumping around, doesn't get back to the 20. Byron Darby down quickly, back to that touchdown.
Let's watch the touchdown and see what happened here. Look at the Cowboy defense. See, they have a lot of guys pointing and doing stuff like that. They look a little confused. Now Mike Quick is going to come from here. He's going to come across, go in motion, and then run and into here. But the Cowboys look like they're not sure. You see him running. Here comes Walls over here. You see they're shifting, a lot of pointing going on. They're not set up. Now here comes Quick in motion. He goes up the field, runs in, boom, hits him right there into the end zone. I don't think the Cowboy defense ever really got set.
I don't think they did either, John. They looked confused. Here's White outside. Tony Hill, the reception. They got about 5. Danny White, the quarterback. Herman Edwards came up to make the stop.
I'll tell you one thing, I feel that the Eagles on first down are going to play run very, very hard. They're going to penetrate, get guys into the backfield. Maybe the Cowboys realize it now, and they're starting to think passing on first down.
Well, the first 2 running plays that the Cowboys attempted certainly were not successful. On 2nd and 4, let's see what they do. But they did throw on first down. It doesn't usually take Mr. Landry long to figure out things. Runs, springs, about a yard shy of a first down. Carl Hairston made the stop. Here's how the teams match in terms of offense and defense and where they stand as far as the league is concerned. Dallas offense 8th rushing, 7th passing, 6th overall against that Eagle defense, which is number 1 against the pass and far down the list.
That's probably why they've been number 1 against the pass, as everyone has had so much success running that they haven't had to pass against them. Of course, the other statistic that is interesting here, and you never know the reason for this one, the Eagles have lost last 9 out of 10 games here in Philadelphia. And that's a tough one. Why do you lose at home? I don't know that one.
They're 0 for 4 this year. Cosby lined up as the flanker, and he goes in motion. They do to Dorsett, and he doesn't get the first down. Anthony Griggs made the hit. Dallas did the dancing, and the Eagles did the stopping.
Tell you, this is a fired-up Eagle team, especially this defense. I mean, they really swarm the ball. You know, when you get the ball, it looked like there was a little mix-up there in the handoff to Spring. But watch the number of white jerseys. Boom, boom, whap, they come flying all over the place. Bodies in white jerseys.
I said it was Dorsett. It was Springs, the ball carrier.
And he had a little trouble with the handoff, too. But I'll tell you, with that Eagle defense, that ball draws a crowd.
They're usually around it. Here's White to punt. Back deep, not a good punt by White. Bounces in Dallas direction, but Shira gets it back, and the Eagles will take over. He's hit and stopped by Bill Bates. But the Eagles will take over in good shape, just outside their own 45, and then 44 remaining first quarter. Philadelphia 7, Dallas nothing. Marion Campbell, first-year head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and his team so far has been very effective. Down at Texas Stadium. Ron Jaworski. Back to Michael Williams. Williams around the corner and out of bounds after 4. Checking some other scores. Tampa Bay losing to Minnesota 7-0. Ted Brown scored the touchdown. Pittsburgh 7, San Diego 0. Abercrombie from 6 yards out to give the Steelers a lead, and Cincinnati 14 now. Houston 0. Pete Johnson scored the first Cincinnati touchdown. Those Bengals back on a roll.
Yeah, and I wonder if Tampa Bay or Houston are ever going to win a game this year.
Looks like they won't unless they play each other. 2nd down, 6. Paddock's in motion. Williams sweeping left. Got some room. Michael Williams in Dallas territory to the 40. Bob Brunig up with help from Dexter Clinkscale. Michael Haddock's a very good block.
Haddock makes a nice block here on Michael Downs, 26. You watch it. He comes in motion. Now watch right there. You see, he got the block right there. Downs is on the ground. He's spinning around. But that was enough of a block to break Michael Williams.
And the other good block was by Oliver.
That's one of the things that Hubie Oliver really does well.
First and 10 Eagles. Dallas 40. To throw. Williams. About 4. Brunig on the stop. For an NFL update, let's take you back to our New York studios. Brent Musburger. Score as Veterans Stadium, where the Eagles lead Dallas 7-0, and they're on the move. Second and 6. Couple. Tom Landry was saying last night that all the talk has been about how much the Eagles miss Wilbert Montgomery, and they do. But he said all these other fellows, Williams, Haddock, Oliver, are major league runners.
Right, he called them pro running backs, NFL running backs, he said. And I think that means the type of guy who's a tough guy. You know, who'll block, who'll take the ball in there tough, always give you a very hard run.
3rd and 4. Oliver's the lone setback. Quick in motion. Outside a quick. Couldn't find it. That's sort of a takeoff on the touchdown play, except that instead of coming across the middle, he went to the outside.
Well, there's a few things there. I think it was a poor pass by Ron Jaworski. It was a little low there. But the Cowboys seem to have trouble with that motion guy. Again, it was Mike Quick coming in motion and going across there. They seem to be a step or two late on the motion man.
So Tony Franklin will come in and try it from 52 yards out. From the left hash mark. He's usually more effective from that side of the field.
Got to wear a shoe for this one.
Well, he's on a dry spot at least. That could be. Wide right. Enough distance, but just wide right. So it's Philadelphia 7, Dallas nothing. First quarter, 4:44 remaining. Tony Franklin just missed a 52-yard attempt at a field goal, and Dallas takes over at their own 34. Unable to generate anything on offense so far. Pearson in motion. That's a real encroach.
That's a little too aggressive, isn't it? You know, they want to get in that Cowboy backfield, and of course they have to wait till the ball's centered. But
you know, one of the changes, John, that they've made in their defense is those defensive ends. Sorry, Fred Silva.
Defense number 71, encroachment. First down.
We have the officials wearing gloves now. You see that?
That's impressive. The defensive ends usually for Philadelphia are way back off the ball. Now they're up a little bit closer. You can see that they're off a little bit. Here's Dorsett. And they're in that backfield again. Dorsett has not been able to get back to the line of scrimmage yet.
Up in the two ends, the two defensive ends are the guys that are doing it. You see, they're getting penetration. When they see flow come to them, they're coming upfield. You see the ball starts this way, a little counter. Now Carl Hairston, left of the screen, is going to get way up into the backfield. See, get 5 yards deep. He doesn't make the tackle. He just throws his body in there. You see what it does? It slows Dorsett up, and he can't square up. And when he does, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other white jerseys right there. That's the way to do it. Get penetration. Get the first guy in there, stop him. Don't let him get square, and then bring a whole bunch of your friends.
Joel Williams made the tackle, second down. White trying to throw a screen, attempted for Springs. Incomplete. The Eagles had it read perfectly. Joel Williams again was the man who made the initial contact. Frustrating day so far for Danny White.
You know, last week the Cowboys had such great success with a screen pass against the Giants. I know that the Eagles looked all week, and they felt that they had to stop those screens. Now watch, they have Joel Williams who's right there on him. He had no chance to get that one.
Was thinking back to what that man said last night, Tom Landry, about the Eagles being very well coached. Boy, it looks like it so far.
He said we're going to walk into something tomorrow because they're going to be ready and waiting for us.
This is Danny White now out of the shotgun. Spread, as Tom calls it. Under pressure, a lot of pressure, and down. Greg Brown from the outside. And the Eagles have every reason to celebrate because they have dominated this contest so far. Boy, do they ever look ready.
I'll tell you, they are fired up. The first guy there was Carl Hairston, though. On the passing downs, he comes inside. With him, he's going to come right up the middle here. Now watch right here. See, now Danny White has to start to scramble. See, there's Hairston right there. That's the first one that got him. And then Greg Brown comes in and finishes him off.
And Danny White, having just been sacked, now has to punt.
Carl Hairston's spending all day in that backfield.
This one doesn't turn over. Shira on the run, fields it out of bounds in front of the Dallas bench, but in Dallas territory. Out of bounds at the Dallas 44, knocked out by Newhouse. Led by Marion Campbell. Lead Dallas 7-0 and are in good shape one more time. Dallas has had a -3 yards on total offense. The Eagles have 87. 3:03 left first quarter. Ron Jaworski, the quarterback for Philadelphia, and his team is at the Dallas 43. Guy Morris, the center. Quick in motion. Self-settled. Williams gets around the outside. Williams down for about 9 or 10 yards, knocked out of bounds by Downs. What a good game for the Eagles.
You see the block by the right guard, Ron Baker, though. He's the right guard, and he's going to lead this play and get out in front of Williams. Watch him here, the right guard. He'll start out. Here he comes now. He's right in front of Williams, see? Williams wants to get right on his hip. Now watch here. Now just throw your body on Thurman. That's it. Gets right, gets his hand in, up in here, picks up a big play. I love that. That old sweep with that back right in the hip pocket of the guard.
I've seen a lot of pictures like that.
Yeah.
Still pictures, I mean.
Right.
That's quick in motion again. He showed a lot of poise on that last play. Michael Williams straight ahead by Harvey Martin. About 3 scores of other games, the Steelers, who seem to do it with mirrors, but nevertheless get it done, lead San Diego 10-0. Green Bay 7, Cleveland 0. How do you know about Green Bay? What do you say? Cincinnati 17, Houston 0. What do you say about them? The Raiders 7, Kansas City 0. 2nd and 7 here at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Eagles over Dallas. The Eagles on the move. 2nd down, Jaworski back to throw and throws down the middle of Carmichael. Inside the 20 to the 16 by Anthony Dickerson, but an Eagle first down.
I'll tell you one thing in this game so far, the Eagles are whipping the Cowboys in the trenches. Their offensive line is beating the Cowboy defensive line. The Eagle defensive line is beating the Cowboy offensive line.
And that figure just tells the story of what you're talking about.
That's right. You got to give some of those guys in the that never get any credit. You know, those guys that sweat and, bleed and have stuff hanging on their body and stuff. Got to give them some credit. That's where it's won and lost.
Sometimes if you're losing, that stuff hanging on your body gets heavy. This is Williams, and he's got some room to the outside. Cuts back inside the 15 to about the 13. Everson Walls on the tackle.
You know, I haven't seen a team this year sweep as well as the Eagles are starting to do here against that Cowboy defense. That's what Tom Landry is telling right there, Gene Stallings. He's saying we have to get someone up on the outside when they do that. Stallings is saying we did have a guy up. They're just blocking him. I'm saying we'll get some more guys up then.
Second down. 6 from the 14. Jaworski to Williams. Not enough guys up there again. Walls tripped him up and knocked him out of bounds with some help from Downs. But nevertheless, they got some yards to the outside, and Randy White is slow getting back to his feet.
I'll tell you what they're doing. They're doing a heck of a job here of blocking the end man in the line of scrimmage. Every time they have run a sweep, they've knocked the end man down.
Quick comes out, and the Eagles will go with a rather unusual setup. Here they have 4 tackles sometimes. That's Haddix who goes in motion. That's Williams, and he barrels down inside the 5 of first down Eagles. Bob Grunick made the stop. But boy, these are some hungry, soaring Eagles at the moment.
You know, it's right here. Now, they put another tackle in here at the left tight end, Jim Fritchie. So he lines up there, he and Stan Walters, and that's right where they run the ball. They run the ball right at the 2 tackles, and they pick up the big first down. Like they're still overpowering the Cowboys in the trenches.
And that Fritchie can do some overpowering. He is 6'8" and 285. From Purdue, and that's the end of the first quarter. And the Eagles are happy and fired up about the situation at the vet right now. They lead Dallas 7-0. He goes to, the Eagles will probably go that way.
That's right. He's going to the right side this time. Looked funny in the huddle there. He was lined up in the huddle where the backs usually lined up.
That was Haddix who was next to him. Now Haddix goes the other side. Over behind Vito Cab. And they go in that direction this time. Williams breaks a tackle, gets down to the 1. John Dutton came over in the pursuit. The Cowboys had some people there, but Williams just cut back inside and broke the tackle.
Yeah, I was talking to Wilbert Montgomery yesterday about Michael Williams, and he said this guy is going to be a great running back. He said he has a natural instinct to run the ball. You see that cut there? Get those shoulders square, and then get into that bend, that lean. Don't stand up when you're close to that goal line. Everything has to be bent, shoulders square, leaning forward, and make all the piles go forward.
2nd and goal at the 1. Oliver comes out in motion. Williams gets the carry. Williams hit down by Bruce Huther. You won't see a better open field hit than that one.
And that one was needed there by Huther because that was a one-on-one situation. Whoever wins this, it's either a score or a stop because it's one-on-one. There's no gang tackling here. There's no help here. Watch Huther, right? Oh, did he put that right shoulder on left shoulder? Blue on white.
That reminds me of the tackles that Dan Buns made back in the Super Bowl. Right.
Same place on the field, too.
3rd and goal from the 1. Williams the lone setback. Haddix in motion. Jaworski rolls right. Knocked away. Penalty marker down. Flag down in the end zone.
Of course, it's 3rd down. The big thing about a penalty here is it's an automatic first down, but it's against the Eagles.
The Eagles. Offensive interference. And now, do you take that penalty or do you leave them where they are?
I'm sure they won't take the penalty. I'm sure they'll make it 4th down and make them kick the field goal. It's an interesting call here, though, for Tom Landry. The penalty would be a 10-yard penalty, but it would give them another down. If you refuse the penalty, it becomes 4th down, and the Eagles have to kick the field goal. I'm sure he'll refuse it.
Offense, pass interference, number 34, refused, 4th down.
Okay, now the decision is, does Marion Campbell kick the field goal? I already know the answer. He's sending him in. Or does he go for it?
No, number 1 comes out, Tony Franklin. Jaworski, of course, is the holder, and of course there is always the possibility of a fake field goal. This will be only 19 yards for Franklin. I think you got to take this one.
I would think so.
Franklin hits like an extra point, but 3 more on the board. Philadelphia 10, Dallas nothing. 13:22 remaining 2nd quarter. Tony Franklin has the ball blow off the tee. just.
Look at that thing. You know, he was telling us yesterday when he came in the NFL that they didn't have a rule that you have to wear a shoe, but that you had to wear a sock. And that sock's getting shorter and shorter every year.
Ron Fellows. Out to about the 28-yard line, stopped by Bernard Wilson. Don't forget.
You know, they don't go through the air, too, don't you?
Enough of that. This is the Springs. Springs has nowhere to go and finally gets out to 30, outside the 30 on a cutback. Ken Clark, the nose man, made the stop, but there is a flag down on the play. Holding against Dallas is the preliminary signal.
Probably on Doug Cosby, I think. He was trying to block, and it happened right in front of the official. He was trying to hook his guy and working and working and working, and I bet he got a little jersey in there. Number 84, Doug Cosby. I bet that's what it was on.
Number 67, holding.
Pat Donovan.
It was a guy next to Cosby.
Next to Cosby.
It was one of those guys over here.
In the event that you just joined us, this is what happened to Dallas so far, where they got the ball, how many plays they ran, and what they did after they ran those plays. They punted every time, 3 times by Danny White. First and 20 now. Dallas at the end of the quarter had a minus 11 yards. That's in total offense. Tony Dorsett for a couple. It's the first time he's made it back to the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, they're really getting penetration here. Now watch, here's the nose tackle, Ken Clark. And the guy next to him is Carl Hairston. Now he gets penetration. The nose tackle takes on Rafferty, the center. See, he just controls him, gets his hands on his shoulder, right down the line of scrimmage, shorten that hole, and boom, just surround him.
That's as good a job as you'll see done by a nose tackle.
You see him keep his hands up there. He just kept his hands on Rafferty's shoulder so he couldn't get into his body.
Second down. Dorsett with nothing again. Dennis Harrison on the stop.
I'll tell you, they said that they had to do that, and they're getting into the backfield. Watch Carl Hairston here. The thing that they're doing is they're attacking. The minute that ball snaps, they're not reading that guard and going down with him. You see that? The minute the ball snaps, the guard goes down. Instead of reading, he's penetrating. Boom, right into that backfield.
So much for reading today. So much for reacting to pressure today. It's aggression day.
It's aggression and penetration and celebration.
10-0, the Eagles lead Dallas. Harvey Armstrong has come in now. Greg Brown also in as Dallas operates out of the spread formation. White is down and fumble. And now they say he was trying to pass, and now the Eagles say they have the football, but I think I saw an indication from the official that the arm was going, but the Dallas defense is coming on the field.
Fred Silva, the referee in the black hat there, he's the boss. He was shaking his head. No fumble, he says. No fumble.
So I was right the first time. He did indicate.
Greg Brown still has the ball. So I'm going to take that thing home with me. Okay, now the rule here is if his arm is going forward, it's an incomplete pass. If it's not, I don't know. It looked like he flipped it underhanded.
Yes.
Down. So they said it was an incomplete pass, not a fumble.
Low snap to White. Gets the kickoff nevertheless. John Shira at his own 45. Gets inside Dallas territory. Still on his feet. Spins to the 40. And the Eagles are back in danger and range again. Bill Bates finally took him down. A 40-yard punt. 15 yards on the return by John Shira, who just activated. 10-0.
White does throw the ball. The problem is he throws it to an offensive lineman. Now watch it here. He's going down. He starts to get sacked. He throws it underhand right here. That's the good news. The bad news is the guy he threw it to is the center, Tom Rafferty, and that should have been a penalty. In other words, they either have to say it's a fumble. If they don't say that, they have to say that he got rid of the ball illegally.
Right.
You can't throw it to your center. You can take it from him, but you can't throw it to him.
Not unless somebody else hits it first. You remember Donovan Rafferty caught a pass earlier in the year. Jaworski going for the bundle to Quick. Harrison Walls back there with him. No flag. Walls, good coverage. That's the kind of pass that Walls has so often come up with himself.
And he darn near came up with that one himself. I'll tell you, if I were going to go deep on the Cowboys, I don't think I would try Walls. He's proved to me that he's not the guy to go after. Watch him. He's step for step. Now, he has the ball there. Mike Quick did a good job of getting his arms around. He's the guy that prevented that interception. Everson Walls had it. He said, geez, I had that one in my hands. That would have been our ball on the 20.
Walls comes out wide to the right, to the Eagles' right, with Quick one more time. Now he backs off. Jaworski, the draw play to Williams. And he got about 3 up the middle. Randy White made the stop for an NFL update. Let's take you back to New York and Brent Musburger. 10-0 here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Eagles over Dallas. Dallas not able to do anything on offense. The Eagles have had the ball most of the first half. 3rd down and 6. 10-17 left to play in the first half. Bates makes the blitz. Jaworski under pressure, hit down from behind by Randy White. Ball is loose, and now there's a scuffle going on. Larry Bethea involved with Stan Walter. But Randy White, who got the sack.
Randy White got the sack, and the first thing that he jumped up and said, what's going on here, fight? I got to go protect my own guy.
Let me get into it.
He didn't do any dances or celebrations or anything. He said, who's fighting over there? Let me see what's going on.
So maybe we can see what went on after we hear from Fred Silva.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 76 on Dallas. 75 Philadelphia. After the play, 4th down.
Yeah.
Why do they bother calling that penalty?
I don't know. It's the dumbest penalty in football. They always do it. A little scrape, and then they go and they say, you know, this guy got a penalty. Nothing happened. We just play it over. All they're doing is say you can fight anytime you want to.
As long as both guys do hit each other. Max Reniger with new shoes. Thin shoes, they say, so he can feel the ball better. Reniger gets off a rocket. Rod Hill lets it bounce. It's in the end zone on the fly, and Dallas will take over at the 20. 44-yard punt. No return, but the net is only 24. The Eagles head coach, he was concerned about Dorsett's yardage on 1st down. That, of course, relates to Dallas. Look what they've done to him.
That's what he said. He said, we can live with 3.5. Whereas when you're minus 2.3, that's a lot better than 3.5.
You can live a lot better.
Live happily.
Here's White. Tony Hill. Herman Edwards on the coverage, but that's a Dallas 1st down. That's something I imagine we'll see more of.
I think so. It's a 1st down passing because they've tried to run, and as we've made the point, those Eagle defensive ends have spent all their time in that Cowboy backfield. I think Tom Lander is saying, well, the heck with that. Let's see how we can go on passing on 1st down, and that one looked a little easy.
That is Dallas' first down of the day. That's 1st and 10. Dorsett is out. Springs is the lone setback. They go with 2 tight ends. This is Springs. He's to the outside with room to about the 45. Anthony Griggs brought down and runs Springs. Other scores: New England 7, Buffalo nothing. Patriots surprisingly tough. Surprisingly good. Pittsburgh 17, San Diego nothing, 2nd quarter. Chargers can't get any points on the board. Cincinnati 24, Houston nothing. They'll be back in the picture before it's over. Cincinnati, I mean.
That's right. You know, they started so slowly, and they've had a lot of problems, but it looks now they're doing the type of things that people expected of them all year.
Kurt Schoenert being their quarterback. Here, Springs again. Gets the Dallas 1st down. Almost to midfield. About the 49, he bounced out to the midfield stripe. Springs having his best year ever all around.
Well, you know, they have the runs there, but on that shotgun or that third down thing. He's a big receiver for him now. He's a blocker for Dorsett. And he has another interesting stat right here. He's handled the ball 665 times, and he's only had 11 fumbles. Now, that's a consistent performer. You like that type of guy, the guy that when you give it to him, he keeps it.
On first down is White with room. And this is Springs out of the backfield. Joel Williams made the stop.
You know, it's a funny thing today, Pat. The Eagles are #1 in pass defense. They were way down in run defense. But today, it's a lot easier, I think, for the Cowboys to throw on them than it is to run them, because that defense is set up, especially on first down, to stop that run.
I get the impression that the Cowboys now have made that adjustment. And I think probably as time passes, the Eagles will make a counter adjustment.
And then the Cowboys will make the counter adjustment and go back to the running on first down.
Second down and 2 from the Eagle 43. Dorsett, first down. The Eagle 40. Jerry Robinson popped him, knocked him down.
I'll tell you, that guy's an amazing guy. I mean, he gets beat around, and he got, you know, ribs and wrists and thighs and ankles and everything else, and he just keeps plowing. They don't only run him outside. I mean, it's second down, they just, boom, just plow him right up in the middle. Only weighs 180 pounds. He doesn't whapping at you.
He doesn't look like he should be tough, but he is.
That's right. Dresses too nicely.
Reverse coming to Tony Hill. He gets one block, cuts back in the middle, now cuts upfield. After all that, he got a couple. Reggie Wilkes.
You know, it's a tough thing to run a reverse, any counter action type of thing against a good defense, because watch this, you see they all start that way, but they're so disciplined in it that they know that this is a possibility, and they all get back. You see, they had the guy from the outside and they had the guy inside.
Second down and 9, only 1 yard gain. Second and 8, call it. They're about 8.5, we'll say. Cowboys have an awful lot of weapons. One of them is right there, Tony Dorsett. Out of bounds by Randy Logan, but he got a Dallas Cowboy first down.
You know, we haven't heard from Doug Cosby today, and I noticed that Billy Joe Dupree's been in there at tight end. I wonder if Cosby has an injury or if they're just giving him a rest at this point in the game.
Just looking at the Dallas sideline, I don't see any medical staff working on anybody.
Because I've always felt that the closer that they get to the goal line, the more they like to go to Cosby. So you're thinking that this is the area that they like to go to him.
Well, remember in the first game, he caught 6 passes in the first half. They are working on Cosby, and there he is.
There's the answer right there. It looked like his left ankle they're taping.
Springs behind Herbert Scott. 4 maybe by Reggie Wilkes. Jerry Robinson, the 2 tacklers for the Eagles out there. There's the work on Cosby, retaping or taping more thickly or whatever.
That's quite a science now, that taping thing. You see, they have different kinds of tape. They had one kind, and they put the stretch tape on, and the other one, and it looks like they were trying to give him support in the back of the ankle, you know, that Achilles tendon area.
I remember when they used to tape us, it was like they put the finger in the middle of the tape roll and yo-yoed with it. On second down, White to throw. Good time, Springs, but not much. Reggie Wilkes gets him outside the 20, about the 22.
Well, again, I think, you know, the 2 favorite receivers in here in this area are Ron Springs or Doug Cosby inside. With Cosby out, I guess Danny White is going to start to look for Ron Springs. But again, it wasn't enough for the first down because those Eagle linebackers are playing awfully tight on those running backs in the passing game.
The word, by the way, on Cosby is that he has a sprained ankle. They are, as John Madden said a minute ago, retaping it. In all likelihood, he will be back. 3rd and 4, and Springs is the lone setback. Up the middle, Haddock dropped it. Tom Landry a little disappointed at this moment.
He looked like he couldn't believe it, because that's one thing the Cowboys don't do much, is they don't drop the ball, and especially Tony Hill.
This is Drew Pearson.
Drew Pearson. He doesn't drop them either, any of them. And it's right in his hand.
Right.
It was right in his hand. Boom, and he just went right through him. Of course, the Cowboys have a lot of stuff on today. It's really not that cold. They're wearing gloves and long underwear. They may have too much stuff on.
Let's see how much stuff Raphael Septien has on this kick from 39 yards out. That Toronto holding. Septien is good. The field goal is good, and he is good. And Tom Landry's got to feel a little bit more comfortable now as his team. Summerall, John Madden, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Eagles leading Dallas 10-3 with 3:45 remaining before halftime. Raphael Septien due to kick off. Just hit. The Eagles welcome us. We're glad to be here. Septien lines it to Michael Haddock and out of the end zone. And Philadelphia will take over at their own 20. College football down now, and the Bowl Scouts everywhere. And of course, when they're through in December, we'll have a couple of Saturday games from the NFL to take your way. Time of possession now changed around considerably. That's Oliver deep this time. Jaworski, the quarterback. And that's Oliver with the ball. And Oliver bangs out close to a first down. Stopped by Michael Down.
One thing about Hubie Oliver, you know, he's one of those guys about 5'9½", 5'10", weighs about 215 or 220. You know, he's built low to the ground, and those guys are very tough to tackle. You know, now watch, if you don't get them, let's watch up here in the right-hand side of the screen at the top. You see, if you don't get them right in there, you're not going to, because they're so low to the ground, they just kind of get that lean and boom, they just sneak right through that.
Steve Kenny, a good job that time on Randy White. Oliver in motion. This is Williams, and he is hit down. Maybe he got the first down. I'm not sure. Brunig going back to Drew Pearson and all the paraphernalia he might be wearing. We'll check it out.
Look at that. Yeah, he has stuff taped. He has gloves and wristbands and elbow pads and stuff. That's a little too much stuff on there, Drew, to catch the ball. You don't practice with that stuff on. Look at that. I think he expected it to be colder than it is. They have thermal underwear, long deals.
Not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, throw a little dirt out there, some little mud.
Jaworski for Oliver. Dexter Clinkscale was the nearest Cowboy. That's something that the fans, I think, when they boo Jaworski, as they have done severely. I don't know if Oliver broke off the pattern or if it was Jaworski's bad throw. It was a misunderstanding, I know that.
Sometimes if a guy is covered or does run the wrong pattern, the only thing you can do is try and find someone else quickly or just throw the ball away, you know, and figure, well, it's first down, we'll take it a second, but we don't want a sack or an interception.
Robert Newhouse headed for the locker room, not sure. We'll try to find out what's wrong with him. Jaworski back to throw. Cowboys on the rush. They get it out to Oliver. Oliver has some room. Bob Brunig finally made the hit, but Oliver burrowed out close to an Eagle first down. Newhouse has a sprained wrist, by the way.
Watch this again. The thing that they do, they start back. Now they want to get the linebackers deep. You see, he looks downfield, boom, pops it out here now to Oliver. Now the linebackers are deep, so he can run all the way up the field until finally Bob Brunig gets to him.
You don't see Hubie Oliver knock backwards very often.
You always make those piles go forward.
3rd and 1. Oliver, the carrier, got the Eagle first down. Lowered that right shoulder and burrowed it far enough. Tom Landry. Looks like another new hat.
You know what I think the problem with the Cowboys today is? Most of them are wearing long underwear. You see, the only guy that doesn't have it on is Randy White in there, but all the defensive backs have it. They got underwear and gloves, too much stuff on. They're not playing.
That long underwear has always been a problem. That's what they're responsible for. Putting all that stuff on your fingers and arms and hands and legs. And they're also in charge of that long underwear.
I hope not. I never did like that. So I kind of agree with Bud Grant. He didn't like it. I think they get too concerned with staying warm. But Randy White, look, he has those bare arms out there. Go play like that. You don't need that stuff.
First down, the Eagles. Jaworski back to throw. And throws quickly. Headed for Glenn Young, and he missed it. Ron Fellows on the coverage.
Glenn Young is the reason that John Shira is returning punts today for the Eagles. He had some problems. In fact, he fumbled last week, so they reactivated Shira, and he's doing the punt returning today.
Wonder why, John, a team like the Eagles has so much trouble winning at home.
I don't know. That's a tough one. You know, the 49ers have that same problem. And, well, if you're going to have a problem, that's one that you don't want to have, because that includes at least 8 regular season games every year. And I don't think it's a crowd. This is a good crowd here. I mean, these people, they yell, scream.
Penalty marker down. Second and 10. The intended receiver was Glenn Young. It's picked off by Dennis Thurman, but that'll be brought back as Ed Too Tall Jones did a severe job of encroaching.
And it's a heck of a play by Jaworski. It's one of the few times you get a free play in football. He knew the Cowboys jumped. He just threw it up there.
Number 72, offside.
Right, when he saw Too Tall jump, he knew he had a free play. So if you have a free play, go for a big one.
Just to get back to the end of the play, although they did run it. Dennis Thurman came up with the interception. There's Too Tall Jones, who jumped offside. Remember a couple of years ago when they called Thurman, fined him, penalized him for what they said was spearing Jaworski in a game here at Veterans Stadium. He had a hearing with Commissioner Pete Rozelle last Monday, and it has been resolved, whatever that means.
Did he have a smile on his face when he said it was resolved?
Yes, he did. Second down. Jaworski had Too Tall Jones in front of him. No flag. No flag. Glenn Young, the intended receiver. Fellows. Watch number 40 show up in the picture at the end of this play.
Let's hear now. Glenn Young is pushing up on Fellows. He didn't get him pushed off enough. He comes back for the ball. It's a pretty good throw, but you see as Fellows comes in here, he grabs that left arm, and then Young couldn't get his hands around it. And there's number 40, Bill Bates. He's like, hey, let me have that ball. Let me jump on that thing or something. Now, there's a guy that I'm surprised is wearing long underwear. I may say something about it.
He's a guy looking for a collision somewhere. Third down. Jaworski back to throw. Look out. Jaworski in the grasp of Ed Jones. The second sack on Jaworski, and he had no chance. Too Tall just went inside Sizemore.
Watch it here. I think it's a stunt. We see Too Tall comes up the middle. He started on the outside. The tackle worked out. Too Tall came in, got right up the middle on Jaworski.
Give some credit to John Dutton, who occupied 2 people.
That's what he did. He started at left tackle. He worked to the outside, took the guard and tackle. Too Tall came around behind him and up the field.
Timeout for Dallas as you look at Max Runniger, who is in the punt for the Eagles. It's 10-3 as we approach halftime. Texas Stadium. Veterans Stadium. Philadelphia. The Eagles. Their stadium. Leading 10-3 with Max Runniger. Back to punt. Rod Hill. Good kick by Runniger. Hill with room. Taken down by Vito Cab. the 42-yard punt, 10-yard return, so it's a 32-yard net.
That's probably a penalty against the Eagles where that was thrown. Someone left too early. So the Cowboys will have the chance here to either have him kick again or keep that. I would imagine they'd keep it.
Cowboys have 2 timeouts remaining. The Eagles have all 3 of theirs. Max Runiger, John Shira, and group talking with the officials at the moment.
Looks like they haven't told the referee yet what happened. Now they got him. Now they'll tell him.
Flag was thrown for a man being downfield, but the man was an eligible man to go down, so there's no foul.
It's just practice throwing flags. It was the guy was wrong, but it was right, so it's okay. So we
Yeah. John and I'll be at Giant Stadium for Washington at New York. Here's Danny White out of the shotgun. Screen pass, Dorsett. No place to go. Dennis Harrison and Carl Hairston, the 2 defensive ends, just shattered it.
You know, it was an interesting play on defense because the line didn't rush the passer. They didn't rush White. They felt the whole time that it was going to be a screen. They just stayed right on the line of scrimmage and worked right down.
Clock is stopped. I'm not sure why. It'll be 2nd down and 12. The Cowboys lost 2. And I still don't know.
That was a penalty. They
Penalty,
marched off 5 yards against the Eagles.
Illegal chuck.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 24. First down.
Jeffrey Ellis. Tony Dorsett strolling over toward the Dallas side of the field. A tough first half for him. Timmy Newsom has taken his place.
The biggest day that Dorsett ever had was against the Eagles. He ran for over 200 yards against them.
Not today.
Nope.
First down, 10. From the Dallas shotgun, White steps into the pocket. Tony Hill does a stroll out of bounds, and it's a Dallas first down. Let's go to Brent Musburger. I like that Logan lurking, don't you?
Lurking and rumbling and linemen hitting the guy, knocking him down, ball bounce up, another lineman pick it up. They don't know what to do with it. It's amazing when they score a touchdown.
Brent was right. You did like it.
I love those things.
Here's Danny White. Drew Pearson does a dance on the sideline, and it's complete. 15 yards. Pearson, a good job.
2 plays in a row, they did the same thing. Tony Hill on the right side, Drew Pearson on the left side. Watch it here. He's going to be standing right on the sideline. Danny White finds him here. Boom, he zooms it out here. Now watch where Pearson is. Watch, just standing right there. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
Pearson trots out wide to the right this time. It was Carl Hairston who put the pressure on White. Probably made that ass high. 54 seconds left. First half. 10-3. Eagles lead. They put the pressure on White. This is Springs, and Springs is out of bounds by Elbert Foles, who is Wilbert Montgomery's cousin, but it's another Dallas first down.
I tell you, Foles had a man-to-man all the way, and that's the thing about Springs, you know, is when you need a runner, he's a fullback runner. When you need a blocker, he can block. But when you need a wide receiver or a receiver, he runs patterns like a wide receiver.
He has reacted, as a lot of people do. When you give them some responsibility, they get better.
That's right. And he's more and more involved in this Cowboy offense now, and he's getting better and better.
They're going to have to fight the 30-second clock right here. Down to 6. They get it off. White goes down. Gary Robinson came on the blitz and took down Danny White. Boy, that's a big play.
You have to give this one to the coverage because there was no one open. When you see Danny White, he starts out here. He has pretty good protection here. He can't find anyone, Robinson comes in, has to play off a blocker, and then he gets the thing. But there was a penalty on the play, too. Watch him here. You see Robinson right here? White didn't have a chance there, but had he had a receiver open, he could have gotten rid of the ball earlier.
And now the committee meeting, the discussion. Penalty marker down at the 10-yard line.
Maybe one of those that they have a penalty marker doesn't count.
43 defense, holding.
Wait, he got more. He has more here, I think.
Oh,
he
yeah.
got some more stuff.
Yeah, he's getting it just...
Listen, he's waiting for the crest.
5 yards from the previous spot.
He did have some room.
Let's watch it on Ron Springs here. He's getting manhandled there. I mean, inside, outside.
5 yards.
Watch him. Here comes the third guy on him. They said Ron Springs isn't going to catch that ball. Now that's covering a guy.
I would say that's a legitimate call, would you?
Look, about 3 of them are holding him, I think.
That looks like something you'd see at Cotton Eye Joe's.
They say, well, Cosby's not in there. You're not going to throw it to Springs, White.
First down, Dallas at the Eagle 12. White outside, Newsom. Newsom, touchdown, Cowboys. Sammy Newsom, who has come up with some awfully big plays, comes up with one more.
They just keep putting in guys, and the guys keep coming up with big plays. Watch it here from the end zone. To be out here to the left. He's watching for Newsom all the way. Finds him right here. Now watch this effort at the end. It looks like he has him, and right at the end, he dives, and he hits that pylon. And the pylon equals the end zone. I heard that one.
Pylon says goal line.
One knee equals 2 feet. One pylon equals end zone.
And that means touchdown. And here's extra point. Septien is good. Toronto holding. Danny White, after a couple of frustrating series, gets him in. Newsom with a nudge. And it's 10 apiece.
Glad you could be a part of this.
The preceding message was brought to you by Hall of Famer Sonny Jurgensen and by the National Football League. Timmy Newsom, who just scored the touchdown. It's 10-10. That's Doug Cosby standing next to him.
I think he took Cosby's place.
Dallas, 4 plays, 68 yards, 40 seconds. And as John Madden said, they put so many people, they just keep firing guns at you. Pretty soon they hurt you. Septien's high kickoff. In the direction of Major Everett. He is down at about the 24-yard line. Back to Doug Cosby in his picture. He had a sprained ankle, which they were taping a minute ago. And there he is on the sideline.
Yeah, I think what they do is I think they put Newsom in the position that Cosby plays in that formation. And I think Cosby was coaching him a little, saying, hey, that's pretty good. You know, you run up, then you run out, and you dive for the pylon.
They call that position rover.
That's a rover position, yeah. And I think that with Cosby out, that, you know, they teach it to a lot of players.
They teach a lot to a lot of players. First down, Eagles. Their own 24. No offside. Jaworski up the middle. Mike Quick, the intended receiver. Everson Wall broke it up. Quick thinks he was interfered with.
I think what's happening here now is the Cowboys have figured that they're in a battle today, and they're playing much more aggressively. You see Wall's right there. Now, once you make that cut to the inside, see Quick, as he goes inside, he should stay straight or lose a little ground. But he gained ground, and that gave Walls the position to get inside.
Walls just got his arm in there after Quick started upfield. So it's 2nd and 10. Cowboys with pressure on Jaworski, but he steps up and the ball goes through the hands of Carmichael. He had a chance to catch that, but that ball was thrown so hard he might have broken 2 thumbs if he did.
I think so, but they're doing a heck of a job now. The Cowboys secondary is covering the Eagles receivers.
Don't forget, coming up at the halftime, it'll be 3rd down and 10, 21 seconds left to play in the first half. Score tied 10-10. The Eagles broke on top. Cowboys have come back, and now they stroll up with their coverage. Start bumping. Jaworski has to unload, looks out to Hubie Oliver. Bates was with him. Randy White put the pressure on, and nothing doing. And you're right, John. The Cowboy secondary has started to play a little bit more aggressively themselves.
And I think so. And now I think the line is making the stunts here. They're making Jaworski throw the ball. See, now by the quarterback having the ball up, when he gets hit, he can just go like that, and it's an incomplete pass. Here's
Walls and
Everson
Quick.
Walls on Mike Quick. Good tight coverage. See, he had the bump within 5 yards, and then he just mirrored him after that. That's great quickness.
Oh, I'll say. Runniger. 14 seconds left, and Runniger hanging high. That's Rod Hill. Dropped it. Cowboys, I think, got on it. Somebody down there quickly to help out Rod Hill with 6 seconds left to play. 48-yard punt. They lost 3. Major Everett was down there to hit quickly.
Yeah, he looked it right into his hands. He did everything you have to do. You don't want to catch it against your body. Catch it out in front, look it in. He looked into it and just dropped it.
That's Cleo Simmons, who is the 3rd tight end for the Cowboys, who came down to make the recovery. And that's Rod Hill, who appears to be hurt. He's down.
And it looks like he twists his right leg there. You see that, his knee? And then it went right under him. He looked like he sat on it. But he may have misjudged that ball a little because it was a little more out front than he wanted. But still, he did hurt his right knee, but he still knew enough to get that ball before he grabbed the knee.
He appears to be not seriously hurt, but you never know when you start talking about that knee joint.
We were in the Cowboy locker room on a Saturday, and he was doing imitations of people, and he was entertaining the whole troop.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get a word in edgewise with that guy.
10-10. The Eagles and the Cowboys. 6 seconds left to play in the first half. Sort of a gray, blustery, ominous day.
Blustery, ominous. That's football talk.
Back inside, got about 3 or 4, but the clock will run out. And that will be the end of the first half. You know, the Eagles came out and executed what we had been told that they wanted to do just perfectly. It looked like everything they had planned worked to perfection. And then it looked like they would dominate the game. And then the Cowboys are back in it. It's 10-10.
Well, you know, the one thing that the Eagles did well in the first quarter is they were running those sweeps, those end runs. Then they seemed to get away from it, and I think they have to get back to it. The Cowboys came out on the field, and they really didn't look like they were ready to play. They remembered the last game 37-7, and they thought they could just throw it out there and win. And then I think in the second quarter they said, hey, this isn't going to work. If we play like this, these guys are going to beat us. So it's really been one half of first quarter Eagles and the second quarter Cowboys.
As you said at the end of the first half with your commentary, well, let's look at the stats first. Here's what happened in those first 2 quarters.
We can see this. I mean, look at in the first quarter, the Cowboys had -3 offense. The Eagles had 126. Now in the second quarter, the Cowboys had 115 yards of offense, and the Eagles only had 11. So first quarter goes to the Eagles, second quarter goes to the Cowboys.
And now we start the second half. And as you said, when they left the field at the end of the first half to go to the locker room, it all depends on who does the best job at halftime, because it does appear that the Cowboys adjusted to what the Eagles were doing, and the same adjustment took place in the first half as far as the Eagles were concerned.
Right, and I think it's if the Eagles can get back to what they started with, or if the Cowboys can keep what they did in the second quarter.
So we'll see. If you recall, if you were with us from the beginning, it was Tony Franklin who started the contest with his kickoff, and it'll be Raphael Septien now. The Eagles send Michael Haddix, their '1 draft choice from Mississippi State, back deep to return their kicks. And he is unusually big to be a kickoff returner, 6'2" and 225 pounds.
That means that you run a lot of middle returns. When you have a big guy like that, you have your wedge there in the 25-yard line. You like him to get it right back up the middle into your wedge.
Septien's kickoff to Haddix, a yard deep in the end zone, and Michael Haddix shuffles outside the 20 to about the 23. Jim Jeffcoat, Angelo King down quickly for the Cowboys to make the stop.
Yeah, we were talking about Michael Haddix back there, and that was his first kickoff return that he had this year. They had Glenn Young back there, and he'd been having some problems, so they made a switch, and Haddix is going to be the kickoff returner, as he is today, with John Shira, the punt returner.
First down, Eagles, their own 23. To the left, Mike Quick to the right. They're going back to what they did earlier. The Cowboys are there earlier. John Dutton, Bob Bruning. Out to make the hit is Marion Campbell, the Swamp Fox, Francis Marion Campbell. Ron Jaworski got off to a good start, and then things got shaky. 4 out of 6 in the first quarter he was. 1 out of 9 in the second quarter. Second and 10. 10-10 tie. Quick. Now Williams and Oliver are flanked to the right, and now Oliver goes back in motion. That's a different formation. Inside handoff to Williams. Penalty markers go down. All that shuffling and jumping and dancing fooled nobody, as Harvey Martin and Anthony Dickerson were there quickly.
That's an interesting thing, how they do motion. The quarterback lifts his leg when he wants the guy to come in motion. And as the motion guy passes the quarterback, he taps him to let him know where he is.
Here's Fred Silva.
Let's watch Harvey Martin there. He's up there now. Now they switched the flex. You see that? Harvey Martin started up, and then he became off. Randy White went up. See, they switched it on the thing. Now Harvey Martin's inside. It looks like he just got twisted around there by Stan Walters.
73. Second down.
Holding on Steve Kenny. That would be against Randy White. Should give some credit on that last play to Michael Downs, because he was up there quickly as well.
And that's the thing that they have to do. You know, they weren't doing that in the first quarter. They weren't getting up as quickly, and then when they did, they were getting blocked.
Cowboys doing a lot of pointing in the secondary. That's Quick in motion. Fumble. Let's see. Cowboys have it. Bob Brennick dived on the ball. The Eagles had some problems with the exchange. Guy Morris to Jaworski. Daryl Bates hits off with the football, and nobody's going to take it away from him.
I don't even think they'll try and take it away from him. Wherever the ball is, Bates always finds his way. Now let's see what happens here. See, the thing, Jaworski starts here. He really never got the snap from Guy Morris. Now look, here comes Bates. He says there's a pile up there. There's some bodies. I'm going to dive in underneath and see if I can find a little deal in there.
I want to be around. He got the deal.
Yeah, he dove in there, took the ball home with him.
Springs is the lone setback. The Cowboys are in good shape now. Here's Springs, and he whirls it down, stopped by Reggie Wilkes, and Springs gets down to about the 7.
You know, that's something that should never really happen, though. Ron Jaworski's a 10-year pro. Guy Morris is an 11-year pro, and again, you shouldn't have an exchange fumble. That's
Howard Richards brings in the plays. He's number 70. Billy Joe Dupree had a problem with his shoe. Now that's solved. Still no Doug Cosby. Yes, he is. Cosby lined up to the left side. Billy Joe Dupree on the right. So it's a 2 tight end setup. 1 running back, 2 wide receivers. Inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line.
I'll tell you, that's the type of play. You know, we're talking about that fumble, that turnover down there. That's the type of play that can change the whole game around. You know, I think the Cowboys started, they really weren't ready to play today, and then they got a little momentum in the second quarter. Then you don't know how it's going to be in the third quarter, but they start out, they get that fumble, and I could see them getting pumped up now.
Third down, about 3, at the 3. Same formation, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and Springs the lone setback. Handoff is again to Springs, and Springs will have a first down, I believe. Very close to it. Jerry Robinson on the tackle. They could have it 1st and goal, or it could be 4th and very, very short. Springs spends a lot of time on the ground. It's going to be 4th down.
Ooh, this is an interesting decision for Tom Landry. Looks like he's already made it, though he's not going to go for the field goal. He has a short yardage play there in that card that he picked out.
They send in Posderick and Richards. And that 30-second clock is now down to 10 seconds. They got to hurry. Danny White wants Cosby on the other side. 30-second clock down to 3 seconds. 2 seconds. They got it off. Touchdown, Dallas. Springs into the end zone. They just barely got that play off.
I'll tell you, we talked about the early going that the Eagle defense was handling the line of scrimmage, but on this play here, watch their right side there, they just handle that Eagle defense. Look, they get the whole thing going back. They got guys turned around, backing up, the whole doggone thing, but there was a penalty on the play.
That might change the whole complexion of things. As the discussion goes on, the Eagles are clapping. They're in motion. They had a hurry to get that play underway. Now they'll probably have to settle for the field goal.
That'll be a big penalty because, as you say, now that'll put them in the thing where they're on the 6-yard line, and they'll have to go for the field goal.
And Septien and Toronto.
Number 75 was not covered. He was an ineligible man at the end of the line. Ineligible man, 4th down.
That's Posderick, and explain it to you, John, what he means by not covered.
That means that there wasn't a flanker outside of him. I mean, there was a flanker outside, which made him an eligible receiver with an ineligible number. Now, they can do that, but when they go in, they have to report. Posderick didn't, so he was an ineligible number playing an eligible position.
So it'll be Raphael Septien now. Runs Springs touchdown. Canceled. 23 yards for Septien with Toronto holding. Got it. And Dallas takes the lead for the first time today. Dallas 13, Philadelphia 10, 11:29 remaining, third quarter. Septien kicking off. Major effort. I think that was Perry Harrington, who was taken down by Dexter Clinkscale. It was Harrington. The NCAA Eagles now trail 13-10 to Dallas. They take the ball at their own 24-yard line. 25 maybe. That's Oliver in motion. Pitches back to Williams. Cowboys out in a hurry this time. That was a play that was successful early in the first quarter, but now the Cowboys have gotten people out there. Randy White was the first one.
Because the Cowboys are doing in the second half what the Eagles did in the first half. They're penetrating. In the first half, the Cowboys were sitting back. They were catching, they were reading, they were waiting, and they were letting the Eagles get that sweep developed and get up. Now they're penetrating, getting into their backfield.
Oliver flank right. Carmichael and Quick over to the left. And now Oliver goes in that direction. The handoff is back to Williams. And again, Dexter Clinkscale comes up quickly and shuts things down, along with John Dutton. Fans getting a little impatient with the play calling of Philadelphia.
Look at those arms on Randy White there, number 54 in the huddle. See that? They really fill out that jersey. You know, he bench presses over 500 pounds. Strongest guy in history.
We saw him in the hall of the hotel last night posing for a Christmas card in coat and tie and sign on front of him, and it just didn't look right, did it?
He doesn't look like a guy who should dress up.
Jones got back. Vito Cab had it and dropped it. A guy there trying to get back into the offense a little bit more, and he couldn't find the handle. Dennis Thurman and Ron Fellows over close.
Good defense by Thurman there, because Cab was open and it was a good throw. And watch him, he has it right here. Perfect throw. Oh, it looked like it just bounced out of his hands before Thurman hit him. He just dropped that ball.
That's all.
Right in his hand. Whew.
Max Runiger back to kick. Rod Hill. So apparently his knee injury or sprain or whatever it was not that bad. Rod Hill. Jumps and dances. Flags come flying from all over the place. Bill Cowher down to make the stop.
What do you think here? It's probably one of those illegal blocks from behind.
I think you'd be pretty safe in making that assumption.
It's tough today on that punt return, the kick return, because you can't block below the waist. So after you make the initial contact, the only thing that you have left to do is either hold or block from behind.
And it's on the run back, 27, Dallas, illegal block, above the waist, from the rear. First down.
Tampa Bay ahead of Minnesota 14-9 in the third quarter. 75-yard touchdown run by James Wilder. He's a good back. Summerall, John Madden, Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia. Dallas 13, the Eagles 10. The Swamp Fox, Marion Hill, the Eagles head coach. Danny White, Dallas quarterback, starting from his own 24. Going on first down and going deep for Tony Hill. Herman Edwards on the coverage, and the flats go down quickly.
Tony Hill turned around and pointed to Herman Edwards before the ball even hit the ground, I think.
Against Philadelphia, against Herman Edwards.
I think there was a bump about 15 yards up the field.
I think so.
Number 46 on the defense. The illegal contact. 5 yards, first down.
5 yards and a first down. Tony Hill popped by Herman Edwards. Green Bay 21. Cleveland 7. Tampa Bay, after that 75-yard run by James Wilder, leads 14-9 over Minnesota. Dorsett around to the outside, stopped by Joel Williams. So Minnesota and Green Bay will play next week. That's one of the games, in fact, the featured game. You will see right here on CBS. The Eagle defense.
Well, you know, they flex too. You know, you always hear about the Cowboys and how they're flexed. You see the Eagles on that play, they had Ken Clark, their nose tackle was flexed. But you see why? He's back off there in the flex position. Now he can run a stunt. So he just comes, the up guy penetrates, the back guy runs the stunt or does the loop.
It'll be 2nd and 6. 8:52 left, third quarter. That's Crosby in motion, and White goes outside to Drew Pearson. He's out of bounds by Ronell Young. 13-10 here. Dallas leads. For an NFL update, let's go to Brent. Dallas 13, Philadelphia 10, third quarter. 8:46 left to play at Veterans Stadium. Cowboys got behind 10-0. Now Springs and Pearson are both split wide to the left. That's Springs back in motion. Out of the Dallas spread. White steps up. Gets it out to Springs, who came all the way across the field. He stopped short of a first down, and Danny White is down, and now he's up. And Tom Landry said to us yesterday the dangers of having your quarterback as the punter. If something happens like that, not only do you lose your quarterback, you lose your punter.
That's right, and he remembers that championship game last year against the Redskins, and he never wants that to happen to him again. He said he's going to make a decision on John Warren, who was their punter. He says he'll either come back and be okay, or he's going to pick up another punter. He doesn't want Danny White doing it.
It's a Cowboy first down, just barely. Here's that last play.
That's a good athlete, though. He was ready to throw that ball, put the ball up, brought the ball down, running, scrambling, does everything. Now, that was a pretty good tackle right there that looked like it was short of a first down.
But after they measured, it wasn't short. The lone runner is Dorsett. Not much doing for him today. Cowboys move. It's Jim Cooper who got going ahead of time.
I'll tell you, Tom Landry is such a disciplined guy that he doesn't like those types of things. One thing about him calling the plays, he has to call the next one.
Number 61, false start. That's first down.
I'm sure you read the story about Tom Landry when he was in World War II in his bomber pilot days. Quite a human being. Springs moves. And now Ron moves upfield back for about 5 yards, perhaps, back to the original line of scrimmage. Anthony Griggs. And remember that name, because he's going to be one whale of a football player. Here's Gary Hogaboom come running up. He was warming up.
I think on that third down play, you know, we saw Danny White grimacing, and he looked like he was shaken up a little bit. I bet you some player went off and told him Danny White's shaken up.
Now Danny White trots over to the sideline as the Eagles have a man down, and Landry checks with him. Are you okay? Cowboys over the Eagles. Third quarter, 7:55 remaining. Still not sure who the injured Eagle. It's Dennis Harrison. There's an interesting comment that Marion Campbell made to us earlier.
Blockers, a lot of shots, a lot of things to hit in there.
Byron Darby has replaced him. Second down and 10. Dallas from their own 39. Looking deep. Drew Pearson comes up with a miraculous. First of all, he ran an excellent pattern, and then came up with a great catch.
Well, it was an out and up, as we watch it here. Now, he's going to start off. He starts out to the outside out here. Now, see, Danny White pumps to him on the out and then throws it up over Edwards on the up. That was a heck of a catch. Now, that's not bad coverage here. I mean, Herman Edwards did about everything a defensive back can do.
John, you made a very good point early in that replay. That pump fake is what really set the whole thing up.
That was the thing, and as he was pumping, Drew Pearson was running an out. And then he pumped, and then Drew Pearson turned up the field.
First and 10 from the Eagle 30. Dorsett will get the carry. Running behind Cooper and looking for some place, and finally does get it, and Tony Dorsett pops it into the end zone. Not many people could make that run.
I think that was a broken play. I think Tony Dorsett Brissett took a play that didn't have a chance. It was fouled up, and not only got it back to the line of scrimmage, he made a touchdown with it. Watch this here. Danny White's going to start off, and it looks like there's a little fumble here. You see, I mean, a little problem there. It was a counter play. He's waiting for his off tackle, Cooper, to get out there and get the block. He gets the block, and then he just runs right through all the white jerseys. But it wasn't a smooth play. It was a counter. Then he had to wait for a while for his right tackle to get there, and then after all that, he still scores a touchdown.
Amazing. Septien from Toronto's hold. It's Dallas 20, the Eagles 10. 76 yards in 6 plays. They kept the ball 3 minutes and 2 seconds. The Cowboys are up by 10. Nothing at one time, and Septien will kick off. Major Everett. The 20. Out of bounds at the 30.
And we were talking about that pass to Drew Pearson. Now watch what he does here. See, he starts here. Now he starts right here like he's going to run it out. Herman Edwards is covered. He reacts to the out, and then Pearson just turns it up the field. Now, as he did that, Danny White was back here. He pumped on this out pattern and then just gave it to him in the up. Now watch what he does to Edwards here. You see here, he thinks, I'm going out, I'm going out. Edwards comes up, and then Pearson just gets the step on him right there. Good pattern.
Wound up with a good throw and a good catch as well. Haddix and Oliver, the 2 running backs. Jaworski goes back under pressure, gets rid of it. Cowboys pruning had a chance for an interception and a touchdown and letting it away. Jaworski under pressure from John Dutton, and the boos come for Jaws, but not his fault.
Watch the way that he gets rid of this ball, though. He's here now. He's going to get a lot of pressure right up the middle. See, here's John Dutton right there. See, now he starts to run. He knows that he's going to get sacked here, so he just throws the ball. He threw a thumber on it, you know, like a baseball pitcher throws a curve. He just thumbed that thing out there. Anything rather than a sack.
As a fork ball. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Handoff to Haddix. Haddix has nowhere to go, and he is really popped by Anthony Dickerson.
That'll bring a twinkle to a linebacker's eyes. Plus, it'll clear out the sinuses of a running back too. Did you see that hit? Whoop.
Did I? I heard the rattle.
Watch him. Dickerson's still smiling.
Downs on the force.
That's, whew.
So it's 3rd down, about 12 for the Eagles now. 3rd down conversions, 40%. That's still better than their average. Cowboys not showing a blitz. Jaworski going for Quick. Quick has it. Great adjustment by Mike Quick as Everson Walls was back there, but Quick might have gotten away with a little pushing off. But nevertheless, it's a 47-yard gain.
Watch Mike Quick out here and Everson Walls. This is a heck of a battle here. You see, he didn't get a bump early. He starts like he's going inside. He's running back to the corner. It's a good coverage there, but I'll tell you, Quick did a better job of adjusting on the pass than Walls did.
And that's rare. That's Randy White, who is down for the Cowboys. 20-10 they lead. Dallas 20, Philadelphia 10. 5:11 remaining 3rd quarter. Randy White was shaken up on that last completion from Jaworski to Quick, but he appears to be okay. Don Smerrick has taken his place. Oliver, not much doing as Smerrick and Dutton sealed off the middle. Checking out scores of other games, still New Orleans 14, Atlanta 10, 3rd quarter. And Pittsburgh 23, San Diego 3, 3rd quarter. 50-yard field goal by Gary Anderson. New England 21, Buffalo nothing. Buffalo hasn't scored a point against New England this year. Cincinnati 41. Houston nothing. Bob Bruning is next.
Saw this body flying at him and knew it was going to get his leg, and there wasn't anything he could do about it.
Bruce Huther, who had been with the Cowboys, was traded to the Bears. And then when they had problems, they had linebackers injured, they brought Huther back. So he knows the system. Oliver. I remember Pat Harder, who was a great fullback, a great player in his day, and then became an official, saying he was doing a Dallas game here in Philadelphia. 2 or 3 years ago. Pat has since retired, but saying the Cowboys sent in their goal line defense, and he looked at this guy who was standing next to him, and it turned out to be Bruce Huther. And he said, I looked at the eyes of that guy and saw how intense he was, and he said, I figured it's time for me to get out and get away from these people, because that guy was going to hit somebody. Jaworski back on 3rd down. Quick. Quick has an Eagle first down. Everson Walls on the tackle.
Jaworski did a nice job there at getting rid of the ball. He had a big blitz on him. I think we're going to see Bill Bates in here. You see Bates right here? Watch him. He comes. They don't pick him up. He's zeroing right in on Jaworski, but he gets the ball off over his head and gets it for a first down to Mike Quick. That was pretty good by Jaworski. You know, when you leave one of those guys for the quarterback to get, and he still completes the ball, that's not bad.
Especially if it's a guy like Bates
who's zeroing in.
This is Haddix to the outside, cut down after a couple. Anthony Dickerson made the initial contact. Marion Campbell, and behind him, that's Dick Wood.
Dick Wood, yeah. He's the offensive coordinator of the Eagles here in his first year. He's the guy that calls the plays.
The worst knees in the world.
Oh, terrible. He was one of those guys that has long legs, and he was a quarterback, and he's paying for it. Boom.
Carmichael and Quick both to the left. Haddix is the lone setback. That's Quick in motion. Here's Jaworski back to throw. Quick had Everson Walls right behind him. I'm sure he was aware of that, and he couldn't quite hang on.
And he knows that he should have had that one, but there's not a lot he would have done with it anyway.
No, there was not much room. Quick has 4 receptions for 70 yards, the 1 touchdown that the Eagles have. And he's a fine-looking athlete. To the right and Quick inside him. Jaworski had it and dropped it. Ron Fellows on the coverage, and that's another pass that should have been caught. Tony Franklin comes on as the Eagles now go for 3. Maybe. But again, with a quarterback holding, you never know what the possibilities are. 37 yards away for Tony Franklin. From Texas A&M. Still lives in the southern part of Texas. Hits it. Plenty of juice for Franklin. What's coming up on Sports Saturday?
Well, you know, one of the things that we're talking about and talking to are players that played years ago that are feeling the injuries now from years ago and how they're coping with that.
This is Ron Fellows from the 10 out to about the 28, 29-yard line before the Eagles take him down. There is a penalty marker down.
It looks like it's against the Cowboys, too, and that's going to put them in real good position, the Eagles, for defense.
John, I must tell you that I played years ago, and I'm feeling you didn't travel to my house.
We should have had you as a part of that.
Dallas, number 40. Illegal push in the back. First down.
Illegal push in the back.
See who did it? Bill Bates did it.
I would bet you that Bill Bates most of the time will take you on from the front.
He was probably trying to find the front. He couldn't find it, so he got anything he could.
First down, Dallas. Deep in their own territory at the 10. First and 10 from that point. Dorsett hanging on to the football. Jerry Robinson led the Eagle tacklers, and they were trying to strip Dorsett. He almost lost it, but kept it. And you can see the plays going in. Tom Landry, that's Dick Nolan, who was just there in the headset. And if Tom forgets anything about which people are supposed to be in the game, Dick Nolan is checking and seeing that he's got the right people for the right formation. They don't miss much, do they? Second and 5, 2 tight ends, 1 setback, 2 wide receivers. Cosby in motion. Pitch back to Dorsett. Being chased around to the outside and taken down by Reggie Wilkes. And there goes the flag again, the penalty marker. Bob Beeks in conversation with Fred Silva. Holding. Cowboys. Here's the call.
Illegal block above the waist, on the rear, number 74. Still second down.
They do not have a 74. That was Bob Lilly's number, and nobody has ever worn that since he was there. Second and 12. Wonder if Lilly knows he did that.
Probably looking on saying, who, me?
Second down. White retreats into the end zone. Throws downfield. Has Butch Johnson. And Butch will have a Dallas first down. The Eagles swarm. Randy Logan, Herman Edwards, Wes Hopkins, all there. 20-yard gain, though.
I tell you, that's a big play for the Cowboys because they were backed up here. They have to throw out of their own end zone. A tough place to throw from. Third down. Had they stopped him here, the Eagles, then they would have been in very good position. I tell you, now the Cowboys get out. They buy some more time. They're going to get into the fourth quarter with the ball. Big play.
They do have a lot of weapons. Johnson now has replaced Drew Pearson. Tony Hill out wide to the right. Handoff is to Springs, and Springs almost lost his shoes to Dennis Harrison. Reggie Wilkes also involved in the stop. That's the end of the third quarter with the score at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Dallas leading 20-13. White will throw. Down by Reggie Wilkes, but Springs out of the backfield running those option patterns has become an artist at that.
That's the thing, and I really feel that they're using Ron Springs today for Doug Cosby. See, we see a little fake here. Now Springs is going to come all the way across. See him come all the way across from right to left. He has a step on Reggie Wilkes here. Good throw by Danny White. You see, Dorsett got a pretty good block there.
He did.
You know, we always see him running, scoring touchdowns, those types of things, but the guy will block for you, too.
That pass would not have been complete without that block by Dorsett. Dorsett bangs up close to midfield.
You know, we're talking about piles going backwards. It's amazing that even this guy, 180 pounds, made that pile go backwards. You see that? You always expect the big fullbacks, you know, those type of guys that hit in there and knock the piles back, and here it is, Dorsett doing it.
This is the way Tom Landry gets the plays in to Danny White. He shuttles the guards, and that was Herbert Scott, number 68, who came in.
Herbert Scott and Howard Richards play every other play and bring in the abbreviated form from Tom Landry. Tom doesn't give him the whole play. He just gives him one little part, and Danny White has to know all the rest of it.
White is 15 out of 17 so far, and he's setting up the screen, and I mean he's got it set. Springs stays on his feet, hit by Wes Hopkins, who has the reputation of being a hitter. Herbert Scott out there quickly, and Herbert got a good block.
I'll tell you, he really did get a good block. There was only one Eagle out there, and Herbert Scott got out there, boom, just cut him right down so he could make that play. I tell you, Scott really did an amazing job on that one.
Why do you think that some teams can run screens and some teams can't?
I think a lot of it has to do with the quarterback. You know, remember John Brody was great at that. You know, you hold the ball, you invite that line, you get the linebackers back, and then just drop it in there. I think Danny White has a lot to do with that.
This is Dorsett swinging to the outside and swinging down the sideline. Just outside the 30, Joel Williams took him out of bounds. You know, such insignificant things enter into football. Marion Campbell was talking about when Dallas runs the sweep. I know you asked him why they were able to sweep when some other teams weren't. He said that the first step, the fake, is so severe that it sets everything up.
By Dorsett, he said, you know, some guys will take a little jab, a little head fake. He said, but he takes a severe move, and you have to react to that. And if you do, then you're going the wrong way. And if you don't, he's going to take that ball outside to that side.
Butch Johnson is out wide to the right. And the handoff is to Springs, and he gets the first down. Drew Pearson is not playing now. It's Tony Hill and Butch Johnson. And Tom Landry said to us last night that might happen because Drew had been bothered by back spasms during the week. And so there he is right there to Landry's left.
You can tell when a guy puts a jacket on and buttons it up and starts clapping, and he isn't playing now, and he probably won't play the rest of the game.
Ron Springs gets a rest. Dorsett the lone setback. And he moves a little bit. White looks left. Goes right. Butch Johnson, the receiver. You heard the official say, okay, right here. As Roynell Young knocked Butch out of bounds. Billy Joe Dupree. Or to congratulate some scores. Tampa Bay ahead of Minnesota 17-12. Fourth quarter. It's New Orleans 20, Atlanta 10. Tyrone Young just got a touchdown pass. Green Bay 28, Cleveland 7. Ellis just threw a pass to Dickey. Check that one. Dorsett bangs down inside. Beg your pardon. Ellis from Dickey. I thought maybe they had done a Dallas play.
If they do that, it has to be from the shotgun.
Right. Third down, Cowboys. They send in Newsom and Springs. They need 3 for the first down. We have 11:55 left to play at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, with the Cowboys leading the Eagles 20-13. In the first meeting between these two, Dallas won 37-7. Out of the shotgun. Wide open is Newsom. He just stepped out of bounds, and he regrets that, I'm sure. Look at him right now, because there was nobody between him and the goal line.
Oh, that's not very good awareness.
If the Cowboys win today, and they're ahead, that will assure them of 18 consecutive winning seasons.
We watch it from here, and we can't see where he comes from, but he starts out there. Who's supposed to cover him? But he ends up, he's all by himself. Now, he has plenty of room to not step out of bounds, and he just ran right out of bounds. I used to have a drill for that. I used to drill my play into a fence. I'd say that's the sideline, so they always had to cut up, because if they wanted to run out of bounds, they'd have to run into the fence.
Whatever happened to the fence?
They wouldn't run out of bounds. They wouldn't run into the fence. They'd turn it up.
As Dorsett, the ball carrier, knocked backwards by Anthony Griggs.
I think old Newsom needs the old fence drill. Put up a fence there and catch the ball, turn it up inside the fence. If you really want to be tough, you make it a brick wall.
Yeah.
Then if they run into that, you put them on special teams and call them Bill Bates.
Or injured reserve. 2nd and 12. That's Dorsett back of White. The Eagles on a blitz. White gets rid of it. Intercepted in the end zone by Randy Logan. White is down. And now he gets back to his feet. Danny White was almost knocked out of his uniform by Joel Williams.
And Joel Williams is the one that should get credit for this interception. He's the guy, now watch, he'll come from the right-hand side of the screen. White doesn't see him, he doesn't feel him, he's starting to throw, and boom, he gets hit right there, and that's why he threw the interception.
Intended for Springs. Contest. Dallas 20, Philadelphia 13. The Eagles have the ball. I thought the ball was intercepted in the end zone. But the Eagles have it at about, well, less than a foot from their own goal line. Oliver bought him a little bit of room, but not much.
This is a very tough position on the field, obviously, but of course if you get thrown for a loss, then it's going to be a safety. If you pass from here, of course you always have a chance of an interception. Plus, if you don't, then if you have a penalty in the end zone, that's also a safety.
2nd and 10, so they give Oliver maybe a foot. 10-12 left to play. Brunig is back in the middle, by the way. Nothing doing now. Now he squirms. Fights his way out. Outside the 5. Dickerson had him. Brunig had him. And Oliver spun out of it.
The other reason it's big here is you want to buy some space for your punter. See, you have to get the ball out here, and we watch Oliver run here. He gets caught in there, keeps those feet going, shoulder square, gets upfield, and keeps going. Because a punter has to have room to get 15 yards back.
So it's 3rd and 3 now from the 8. So they did get some room on that effort by Oliver. Jaworski to Oliver again. Oliver, maybe a first down. Yes, a first down. That's that breathing room you were talking about. Oliver. Yubi Oliver encouraging the crowd. They don't need that much encouragement.
I'll tell you, the crowd understands the game, too, and they know how big it was, how important it was down here, that you got to get off that goal line. I've always felt that the goal line, bringing it out and taking it in, are the 2 most important parts on a football field.
Harvey Martin, Randy White, Dutton and Jones up front for Dallas. And they give the ball to Williams. This is the way the Eagles began the game. They came out running, and they came out running effectively. And they've run it out from the 1-foot line to this point. Out to their own 15. 2nd down. 7.
Look at Mike Quick there in the huddle. He has his shirt out there. He looks like a tackle or something.
Quick and Carmichael both go out wide to the right. That's Quick with his shirt out. Jaworski back to throw. Across the middle of Vito Cab, and he can't find the handle. Incomplete. Mike Hegman and Anthony Dickerson and Bob Bruning all right there with him.
Here's a guy that has a tough time against the Cowboys. In the first game, he didn't catch a pass. He hasn't caught a pass in this game. He's had 2 thrown to him and dropped them both. So he's 0 for Cowboys.
That's not good. 3rd and 7. Big down again. Carmichael wide left. Quick wide right. Glenn Young on the right side up at the top of the screen. And that's Quick inside him. Jaworski back to throw. Throws quickly. Got Quick. And Quick is still on his feet. Still on his feet. Lost the football. The Eagles keep it. Quick had the ball jarred loose. Got the first down. And he is really quite an athlete.
This is Mike Quick again on Everson Walls. Right there, you see, gets a couple steps right there. Walls can't grab those feet. Quick keeps going. Spin, dive, fumble.
See who knocked the ball loose?
Bill Bates. You see how he just projected his body through space. Projectile.
That was Oliver who made the recovery for Philadelphia. They get a first down. They move out from their own goal line. 7:20 left. This was Oliver again. He is cut down right at the line of scrimmage. John Dutton there. Mike Hegman is the man who cut him down.
I think one of the things that in the second quarter, the Eagles got away from that running game, and they got away from the short passing. They started trying to throw deep on first down and those types of things. And now they're getting back to that. You know, the run, the shorter pass, and they're having more success.
Jaworski, Guy Morris is the center. They go with what used to be a standard pro set. Dallas showing blitz. Picked off by Dennis Thurman. The blitz was by down. Jaworski is down.
Jaworski's still down. They didn't pick up Michael Downs. He comes right up here, and he's right up in the line of scrimmage. And Jaworski was backing up, and Downs was going as fast forward as Jaworski was going backwards. Watch it here. Here's Downs, 26. Look, he's right up there to the right of the center. And then he goes, see, the guard steps out, center takes his man. Williams tries to get there, but it's too late.
Just came up with an interception caused by a blitz by Michael Downs. And the Cowboys, led by Danny White, who's been shaken a couple of times today, go on the offense with their 2 tight ends. Handoff is Springs. Springs inside the Eagle 30, about the 27. Wes Hopkins tripped him up.
Here comes Ron Springs. Now, on artificial turf, the biggest run you have is a cutback. That was the old double cutback there. You see, he started to the right, cut to the left, boom, back to the right.
It looks, or you get the impression at least, that Springs has learned from Dorsett that knack of cutting back. But however he's learned it, he's learned it. He's in motion. Pitch back Dorsett. Dorsett gets inside, tries to get back inside, and is stopped by Reggie Wilkes. Ron Jaworski, who was shaken up, it appeared, just a little bit after that blitz by Downs. Hasn't been a particularly productive day for him.
Well, I think the one thing, you know, when you have a blitz and the guy's coming up the middle, that's not a bad time just to take a sack. And if you are going to throw it away, you always want to throw it towards the sidelines. I think that he tried to get rid of the ball, but he tried to get rid of it in the middle.
So it's 3rd down. From the 30, White back to throw. White throws down the middle. Has Butch Johnson. Butch has a Dallas first down. Some of the other scores. Yes, it is a Dallas first down. New Orleans 27, Atlanta 10. Don't forget about Bum. The Raiders 14, Kansas City 13. Green Bay 28, Cleveland 14. Green Bay and Minnesota next week. Cincinnati 48, Houston 7. And of course, don't forget on the postgame show is Brent and Irv and the Greeks. There's 4 minutes 24 seconds left to play. Dallas on the move. And off Dorsett. That was on first down from the Eagle 25. He moves it to about the 22. Tony still wearing that silicone cast on his wrist. Shook it up a couple of weeks ago, but it seems to be not bothering him at all. He hasn't fumbled. The clock. The Eagles facing the inevitable right now as Dallas moves into field goal range. Dorsett goes in motion. Springs to about the 15. Wes Hopkins made the hit. You notice Dorsett, while he was in motion, he put his mouthpiece in as he came out in motion. He was sort of casual about things.
He wanted to keep it out as long as he could. Now, he starts out there in motion. He's putting his mouthpiece in. But the one thing, when he does go in motion, that really brings the defense out. You see, and they all went out, and then Springs starts to the outside. They start to slide down that line, and then he cut right back against the grain.
3rd and short. About a yard. Springs 14 carries, 55 yards, and some clutch catches. 3rd and 1. Crosby this time. Dorsett bangs inside the Eagle 10. Boy, that acceleration he has is frightening.
We were talking last night about Doug Crosby and how he seems to be so much better blocker this year. And Tom Landry said that's his biggest improvement is his blocking. And they use him to block as a tight end, but they also use him as a rover. Now watch, he'll come in motion right there. You see him lead in there, and then everyone reacts to Crosby's lead, and Dorsett runs in another hole now. He used to have that, and Dorsett would follow Crosby. Now Crosby goes, the defense follows Crosby, and Dorsett goes the other way.
And he has that ability. Hand off to Dorsett, who started left. Jiggled a little bit to the left and then went back inside, but a penalty marker comes down. Ken Clark made the stop.
You know, this Cowboy team just seems to wear on you. Wear, keep, you know, Dorsett here, Springs here, Tony Hill out here. You know, and they just keep going and going and going, very businesslike, week after week, and pretty soon, you know, they win, get on a plane and go home.
If they win today, that's 9 wins. That's almost enough to say, hey, we're in the playoffs already.
Holding.
Billy Joe Dupree.
First down, 2-minute warning.
Number 89. 2 minutes to play. New Orleans has beaten Atlanta 27-10. Dallas 20, Philadelphia 13, fourth quarter. 2 minutes remaining. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Veterans Stadium. The Eagles came out on fire. Dallas sort of looked at them and said, if that's the way it's going to be, we can do it too. Springs in motion. White. Into the end zone and open, and touchdown Tony Hill. Now that performance by Danny White will just tell you what a good athlete he is.
That's right. You know, they talk about Danny White. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. But I'll tell you, he makes things happen. Watch this. It's a screen pass. He's going to try and throw the screen pass to Dorsett, 33 out here. Watch him. He's out there. He's covered. He can't throw it. So he said, okay, I'll scramble a little, look downfield, see what I have. Oh, there's a guy right there. Tony Hill, touchdown. Now, that's a heck of a play. When you call a screen pass in the huddle and you throw a touchdown in the end zone to another guy, that's good awareness.
Raphael Septien out of Toronto's hold. Dallas 26 now. Philadelphia 13. Septien makes it 27-13. 1:51 left to play. .36 yards, 7 plays. They kept the ball 4 minutes 48 seconds, and they lead 27-13. Dallas 27, Philadelphia 13. There has been some criticism of Danny White. Today he is 20 out of 23 for 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Major effort. Continuing with the Danny White tribute. Only 1 incompletion in his last 15 attempts. That was the interception when he was hit in the back.
And last week, he threw 5 touchdown passes against the Giants.
Hard to criticize.
Like to have a quarterback like that.
Tonight on CBS, don't forget 60 Minutes. Dallas and Trafford John M.D. Regular Sunday night lineup. Jaworski. People scrambling around in front of him. He waves his arms, throws. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Glenn Young. Under a lot of pressure, Everson Walls, the defender, along with Ron Fellows. 1:40 left to play, and the clock has stopped. Cowboys 27, Eagles 13. 9 wins, 9-1 for Dallas, and that just about, no matter what happens the rest of the way, although I'm not saying that the best won't happen, but 9 wins will just about get you into the playoffs.
You don't need many more than that.
Second and 10 from the 29. 1:40 left to play as Jaworski goes back. Dallas now. The defensive line roaming on the loose. Intended for Carmichael. Downs right behind him, incomplete.
You're talking about those defensive linemen of the Cowboys. I think we're starting to see more and more of Don Smirek and Larry Bethea. And I think that, you know, they've talked about that thing, Harvey Martin, right end, whether he's going to have the position or Bethea is. And it looks like they're about ready to make that switch. I think Bethea for Harvey Martin. But this Smirek's in there a lot, that big 60 there.
He does a lot of thrashing. You know, you see his arms waving all the time. And helmets coming unstrapped and things when he's in there.
Gets to push up the middle. Big push in the middle.
Jaworski deep for Young. Got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Thurman was back there with him. Fellows had a shot at him. Touchdown.
It looked like he just stayed.
He does a lot of thrashing. You know, you see his arms waving all the time. And helmets coming unstrapped and things when he's in there.
Gets to push up the middle. Big push in the middle.
Jaworski deep for Young. Got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Shot at him, but Glenn Young comes up with an Eagle touchdown.
It looked like he just stayed with it a little longer than the defenders. Watch this, the ball is well thrown. See, he has to just slow up a little there, and what he did is he slowed up more. He slowed up, and Fellows kept on going, and he made a better judgment, Glenn Young did, than Ron Fellows, but that's tough. You know, if the ball is thrown properly out in front, Fellows is probably in good position, but it's a little short, and Glenn Young makes the adjustment and comes back and catches in front of Fellows.
So our business is not done yet. 27-20 as Tony Franklin adds the extra point. 71 yards in 3 plays, 27 seconds it took the Eagles.
I tell you, it was pretty good pass protection here. You see, they give him that thing where he can step up and throw the ball, and he gets it done.
27-20. plays. Jaworski, a 71-yard pass to Young, and it's 27-20. Dallas is expecting an onside kick. Franklin on the other side of the ball from where he would normally be.
They have a shift.
All the Eagles come this way. Onside kick attempt. Franklin kicks it out of bounds, and all the referees and all the officials get a chance to throw some yellow.
This is an interesting thing here. With 1:24 left and all your timeouts, I would think that you can just kick the ball down, play good, solid, penetrating defense, use your timeouts to get the ball back. You know, an onside kick is kind of a one-shot thing. You either get the ball and you have a chance, or if you don't get the ball, the game's over. So now what the Eagles are doing, it looks like they line up 5 on each side of the ball, the kicker in the middle, and they're going to shift all 10 to one side and then kick it to that side. Here comes the shift.
There's only one way he can kick it from that side. Still got to go 10 yards. It does. Fritz Johnson has it and jumps on the ground, and the Cowboys take over.
I never like to kick an onside kick in an obvious onside situation because they're ready for it and they should get it. That's what happened there. And really now, for all intent and purposes, the game is over. Had they kicked the ball off, used their 3 timeouts, then they would still get the ball back and have a shot at it.
Green Bay 28, Cleveland 14. Minnesota trailing Tampa Bay 17-12 fourth quarter, and those two, Minnesota and Green Bay, each with a chance to take the lead in the NFC Central, will battle next week here on
again, Bob.
The Eagles will be at Chicago. That'll be our feature game next week. This is Spring. Springs breaks a couple of tackles, gets down to about the Philadelphia 36. Randy Logan tripped him up. Well, now the next time we see Tony Franklin, I see that he has a disadvantage because there are a lot of those soccer-style kickers who can kick onside kicks with either the left foot or the right foot in either direction. And apparently he can, or doesn't, won't, whatever.
I have to, it was interesting. Tom Landry said earlier this week, he said right now the Redskins are playing the best football in the league.
They don't have the best record, but they're not far from it. To Springs, and Ron Springs cuts back inside. Ron Springs fumble, and the Eagles will have it. And we were talking about earlier that Springs had not fumbled very often. He almost had a touchdown. He lost the football. Joel Williams makes the recovery.
Which is the Ron Springs. You see, they fakes to Dorsett in here, rolls out, Springs goes out into the flat. He catches the ball here. There's no one on him. Look, he runs up the field here, and then he starts to cut back. Had he gone out of bounds there, it would have been okay. He cuts back, and now he starts to finish off the run right here, and the ball is knocked out.
Dennis Harrison is the injured Eagle.
He's a heck of a nice guy, too.
Yes.
We were talking to him yesterday, and he's having a good year. He's leading the team in sacks, and he's quite a guy.
A minute, 5 seconds left to play. The Eagles down to 1 timeout now. They have the football at their own 5. Jaworski back in the end zone, throwing out of the end zone and throwing complete. That's Mike Quick. For about a 5-yard gain out to the 10, a little bit of room. Jaworski saying, let's go, let's hurry up. We watched them work on their 2-minute drill yesterday, and they executed it very well. They only have 1 timeout left. Jaworski. Incomplete to Quick. Everson Walls was the nearest Dallas defender.
Tell you, they had good coverage out here.
There's just looking at the physicians that it's not that serious. Other scores. Green Bay 28, Cleveland 14, fourth quarter. Cincinnati 55, Houston 7. Kansas City 20, the Raiders 14. John McAvick has done quite a job.
The Raiders always have a tough time in Kansas City.
On third down, Jaworski goes up the middle. And Quick has it from Jaworski. The ball was halfway there before Quick ever looked back. Dennis Thurman on the tackle. The Eagles hustle up.
I think they've taken their timeout now. I think they've taken their last timeout. Only 29 seconds and no timeout. So they're going to have to direct the ball to the sidelines. They have to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Mike Quick is over 100 yards in receptions for the 5th time this year. Dallas showing blitz. Now they back out. And they do back out. Batted away. Oliver can't quite get back in time. Ed Jones got a hand on it. It seems like at least once a game he does that.
And it's always towards the end of the game. It seems like the first half you don't hear a lot about Ed Too Tall Jones. And then in that second half, that third and fourth quarter, he's always getting a ball, getting a sack, batting a ball, doing something. But I was surprised at that throw. You know, when you only have 29 seconds and no timeouts, you don't throw a little loop pass to your fullback. You have to get the ball up the field and out towards the sidelines.
Philadelphia out of timeouts. Jaworski. Back to throw, of course. Does throw. Incomplete. Glenn Young. Turned around, was open. Could have caught it. Should have.
I think he knew he had to get out of bounds, and he looked like it wasn't one of those footsteps deals. It looked like he was trying to get the ball so he could hurry about that 3 yards he needed to get out of bounds.
Dallas 27, Philadelphia 20. The Eagles came out smoking. Got ahead 10-0. Dallas came back. It was 10-10 at the half. And the Cowboys got a break on a fumble and took it in, or got a field goal to go ahead 13-10. It looked like it was out of sight. Now the Eagles have come back, and Jaworski is back to throw again. Batted away. His arm was hit by Ed Too Tall Jones. Late in the game, as you say.
Coach Too Tall says now it's about time to get going so we can finish this thing off and go home. But he'll come from the left of the screen. You know, Jaworski did have Carmichael out here to the left, but he didn't even look at him. So he's starting to throw. He wants to throw out here to the right. See, and there's Too Tall right on that arm as he tries. I think it's tougher and tougher to throw the ball out. Here's the guy he should have thrown it to right here, Harold Carmichael, but he was looking out to the right.
Tough to throw in that direction when Too Tall gets those arms up. And Smirek, who stands next to him, is 6'6". Inside the 40. Clock running. That should do it. That ought to be a Dallas victory, and it is. They just couldn't get them huddled up in time. It's the Cowboys 27 and the Eagles 20. The Cowboys now move their record to 9-1. Philadelphia is now 4-6. John Madden has often said it seems like Dallas just plays well enough to win.
It seems like it. I'll tell you, I think the Eagles really gave him a battle today, but it got into that position where they just didn't have the time or the timeouts, and they were still going for it, but this time ran out on them.
Executive producer Terry O'Neill, senior producer Charles Milton III, Mike Burks, our producer. Sandy Grossman, the director. Don Vetrano, the associate producer. Field technical managers Carl Prince. And all the rest of the people who contribute so much. Dallas 27. The Eagles 20. Coming up next, don't forget the NFL Today, the wrap-up show. Brent